Socrates once stated that we should follow the argument wherever it leads. When we look at the most profound question of life, does God exist? We should certainly follow his advice. When we do, we'll find evidences that show us God is real. Let's look at 6 proofs that show God exists. Number 1, the universe must have a cause. The most fundamental law of science is the law of cause and effect.
Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. Ang topic po natin for today, for this Sunday, ngayon po ay June 4, 2023. So ang topic po natin ngayon, as you can see sa introduction po ng video na ito, yung Does God Exist? So magandang topic po ito for this Sunday. So ito po yung mga 6 proof sa video na ito. Actually marami namang proof that really God exists, ang ating creator, no? Pero dito po sa video na ito, ito bigyan lang po natin ng ito ang gusto kong bigyan ng reaction video, at bigyan nyo na rin po ng reaction video ang ginawa po ng ating kapatid, na itong foreigner nating kapatid, regarding sa 6 facts or 6 reason, 6 na proof that really God exists. So ito po number 1, ito po yung the law of cause and effect. So ito medyo scientific po ito. So sa mga susunod ko pa po mga video, marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan regarding sa about the principles of creation of God. So ngayon, ito po yung first proof that really God exists, yung the law of cause and effect. Siyempre nga naman, may pinagmulan po talaga nitong ating mundo. Imposible naman na bigla na lang itong yung bigla na lang magic, bigla nagkaroon lang, no? So makikita niyo naman po yung creation ni God, no? Very precise, lalo sa panahon po natin ngayon. According sa mga scientists, no? It's very obvious na talagang lahat ng creation po dito sa mundo has a very specific purpose, o kaya napaka-precise. May mga gamit po bawat isang mga nilikha ng Diyos po dito, creator natin, no? So from the smallest particle of matter, the atom, mga ganyan po, from hanggang sa sa kalawakan, universe. So ngayon po sa panahon po natin ay yung pong so ito pong science, actually po yung science sa mga, ang science sa po yan of course science yung yung kumbaga ito yung seeking, science is seeking to solve all the questions about life in the universe, yung physical, no? For physical truth talaga siya, seeking for physical truth. Ito naman po natin, ito po namang religious side po natin is seeking for spiritual truth. Sabihin yung ating internal part, no? Yung ibang usapan naman po yun, yung ating mga invisible part, spiritual part, no? Invisible part ng ating pagkatao, o kaya invisible part ng itong universe. Actually, itong bigyan ko naman ng konting summary lang konti, ito about the yung the law of cause and effect, no? Sabihin yung may cause po ito, no? May pinagmulan po itong mundo natin. Parang syempre lahat po ng bagay sa mundo, no? O kunyari may iniimbento po tayo. So hindi man pwedeng nandiyan na lang yung kotse bigla na lumabas, diba? Iniimbento po yan. So lahat ng bagay dito na nilikha ng tao, simula muna sa isip, no? Pinag-isipan, pinagplanuhan. So I think ganun din po yung pinakang the cause of everything, cause of this universe, lahat ng creation, from the smallest particle of matter hanggang sa heavenly bodies yung universe, no? Kalawakan, may pinanggalingan po yan. Okay, go na po tayo sa mga susunod bang paliwanag po na ito, no?
And it says that for every material effect we see, there is a cause that came before it or was simultaneous to it, and that is greater than it. The universe is a material effect. So what caused the universe? You see, if you don't believe in a creator, then you have to suggest something like a singularity. That's what is popular today, that there was some type of singularity that exploded in something called the Big Bang. But then when you try to get down to the bottom of what's a singularity, Well, what we hear from the scientific community that suggests to us, the cosmologists, they say, well, the singularity was something that popped into existence from nothing. Do you know that if there ever was...
Sa akin, okay lang po yung Big Bang Theory. Pero imagine niyo po yung pag-scattered po ng, yung mga bagay-bagay po dyan sa kalawakan. No? Nakita niyo po, napaka-precise naman lahat. Hindi random po yung pagkakagawa po ng mundo. Napaka-precise. Kahit po yung makita po natin, yung takbo po. Solar system na lang po, no? Napaka-precise po ng ikot in order to maintain life here on Earth. Nakita niyo naman po yung distance ng Earth to the Sun. At saka yung distance ng Earth to the Moon, no? So may mga ano po siya, meron po dahilan yan in order to preserve a good life here in Earth, no? Kaya may distance, tamang distance. Tinatawag na yung distance from the Earth to the Sun, yan po yung tinatawag, di ba, na Goldilocks zone, Goldilocks area. Kumbaga, nabubuhay tayo, no? So hindi po random. Okay lang po yung Big Bang pag scattered po ng mga kung ano ng mga bagay-bagay diyan sa kalawakan, kasama na po ang mundo natin, no? Pero meron pong universal, masasabi natin merong force, no? Universal prime force na pwede nating sabihin ganon. It's a force from God, no? From the Creator. Merong tinatawag na, sa ibang mga napanood ko po yung merong tinatawag na intelligent mind behind the creation, no? Behind the Big Bang Theory, ganyan. Kasi i-disregard mo si God, yung kanyang i-disregard natin ang knowledge ng Creator, tapos may Big Bang, bigla na sumabog sa taas. Parang imposibleng mag-form naman yan ng mga iba-ibang mga creation, di ba? Ito, napaka-perfect po may sistema, ibig sabihin, may prinsipyo, may principle.
For a time when there was nothing, that's exactly what we would have now. The idea that something popped into existence from nothing is simply not a scientific idea. You see, they're suggesting that singularity is somehow natural, but it behaves supernaturally. They say that singularity wouldn't have followed the laws of nature. Well then, so what are we left with? We're left with the fact that the universe had a beginning, and it was not a natural cause. It was something above nature. It was something super nature, something supernatural. And so, when we see the material effect of the universe, we can know that there was a supernatural creator that caused the universe. Proof number 2. Design demands a designer. It is a truism that everybody recognizes that this universe looks designed. In fact, when we see the various different aspects of nature, and we see birds and squirrels and trees, and we see all of the things that they do so well, many times we as humans, we try to copy and mimic that design, but often we don't do nearly as well as the design that we see in nature. We look at the design of the human body and the human hand and the arm and the leg and the brain, and we see that those are some of the most advanced, technologically savvy pieces of equipment ever put together, and we try to mimic them and copy them, and we can't do it as well. Why? Because this universe exhibits design from the starry sky at night to the fingertips on your hand. The design is overwhelming. It's everywhere. Where does design originate? Well, you and I both know is that when you see things that function and they're complex, that design comes from an intelligent designer. Big explosions just simply don't bring about order. They don't cause things that are functional and complex to come into existence. The design we see in the universe demands a supernatural, intelligent designer. Proof number 3. Life demands a supernatural life giver. You see, in the material world, we have come to understand that there is a law of biology called the law of biogenesis. Law of biogenesis simply says this, that in this material, natural world, life comes from previously existing. Now, when we look at how people used to think about life, they said, no, life can arise spontaneously from non-living chemicals. And yet every single biological experiment has shown us that that simply is biologically impossible. Life doesn't arise from non-living chemicals. From where did life arise? Where did life originate if it doesn't arise from non-living chemicals? You see, the idea that there's no God suggests to us that there had to be some singularity without a cause that exploded, and that explosion brought about design, which we've never ever seen happen, and then ultimately somewhere the non-living chemicals gave rise to life. But that's biologically impossible. Life demands a supernatural creator. Proof number 4. Moral law demands a moral lawgiver. If some things are objectively morally right, and other things are objectively morally wrong, then there must be a God. You see, if we evolved from primordial slime over multiplied millions of years, at what point did objective moral values arise? We don't look at a dog and say that that dog objectively, morally violated some rule when he steals a bone from another dog. We don't say, hey, he violated a objective moral value. We just don't say that. But we do say that humans can perpetrate things that are objectively morally wrong, that humans can be involved in things that are morally right. If that's true, there must be a God. Proof number 5, free will exists. The atheistic idea that there is no God is founded on the idea of materialism. The idea that this material world is all that there is, all that there was, and all that there ever will be. Because of that, atheism has to suggest that you as a person don't really have free will, that there is no being inside of your body or brain that is super matter, that really what's going on in your brain is just electrons bouncing around, and you're the product of those bounces, and you don't really make decisions on your own. It's just the physical laws and properties going on in your brain. If you are watching this video of your own volition, then the fact of the matter is there has to be a God that can account for that free will that you as a person have. There has to be a God if there is free will. And proof number 6, human reasoning. You see, we reason on a regular basis. We understand abstract ideas. If we were products of blind chance, random processes over multiplied millions of years, reasoning and the laws of reasoning simply would have no explanation. And yet we reason together on a regular basis. From where does reason arise? It's got no naturalistic, atheistic explanation. Anthony Flew, atheist who wrote Theology and Falsification, the most popular atheistic paper for the last 100 years, the last century. In 2006, he co-wrote a book titled There Is a God, How the World's Most Notorious Atheist Became a Believer. He stated that his rule of life had always been to follow the evidence where it leads. And he said he followed that evidence. And it led him to the conclusion.
Okay, thank you so much guys sa panonood po sa maiksing video na ito regarding the 6 proofs about God's existence. So sa susunod po, marami pa po tayo mga video regarding sa principles of God's creation. So ito yung mga una ko lang po itong episode para po sa regarding sa principles of God's creation. So ito yung sa susunod po, meron pa po tayo mga iba-iba mga proving o kaya mga video regarding po sa existence of God. Kasi napaka-importante po no, itong topic na ito. Kasi as I've said po na sa ibang video ko po, na in order to understand our life here on earth, of course, kailangan po natin maintindihan po natin ang Creator. No? Of course, alam natin na at nararamdaman po natin na God is our parents. Yan naman po ang sabi ng ating Lord Jesus Christ na God is our parents. Kitang-kita naman po natin mga nilikha po ni God sa buong mundo, no? Lalo mga pagkain natin, no? Hindi naman po niya tayo pinabayaan. Binigay niya po lahat ng ating mga pangangailangan. Parang ano po, parents at saka pag-aalaga po ng mga anak, no? Yung siyempre pag may mga anak po kayo, 'di ba? Tayo mga tao. So, kung ikaw ay good parents, lahat gagawin mo para sa mga anak mo. Lalo kung baby pa, ibibigay mo yung mga pangangailangan ng baby, gatas, damit, kung ano pa. So, ganun din po ang ating Diyos na, ang ating magulang, no? Diyos na lumikha. No, binigay niya po lahat ng pangangailangan ng tao. And then, kaya yun po yung, anong klaseng, diyan po natin makikilala kung anong klaseng creator tayo meron, anong klaseng God tayo meron, anong klaseng magulang tayo meron sa mundong to. Siyempre, siya ay Diyos na yung mapag-alala, pagmahal po sa ating lahat. Okay, thanks so much guys. Huwag niyo po kalimutan mag-subscribe po sa ating munting channel, Kuya Boy TV. At subscribe na rin po kayo dito sa ating kapatid na foreigner. Na-like ko na po ang kanyang link dito po sa ibaba ng video. Thank you so much. God bless po sa ating lahat.
That there is a supernatural, intelligent God. Let's let the evidence lead us to that same conclusion.